We've officially lost Vic to the streets. Episode 5 of The Penguin just dropped and so much happened. Let's talk about it, and spoilers if you aren't up to date. The events of last episode shifted my perspective on who was the main character. This episode pushed that narrative even further by spending the same amount of time on Sophia and Oz. I thought we were going to watch Sophia descend further into madness. She seemed very calm, cool, and collected. During that interrogation scene with the cop from the Batman, see her play the role of the scared rich girl. And she just gets tired of it and presses this man. But there was nothing about Sophia and the way that she was moving that made me feel like she didn't have a handle on things. She broke down Johnny Vici. And honestly, I think she planned to kill him in front of the goons. Because she knew even though she just tortured him for God knows how long, he got a mouth on him and he wasn't going to support her and that she could never trust him. I would say I could not believe that he had pushback right after she tortured him. Like, this woman killed your entire family and then put you in a crypt, and the first chance you get, you're questioning what she's going to do next. And I had hopes for him for a second because he shushed the crowd, and I'm like, yes, stay on board. But the minute Sophia started talking about sharing money, he was like, nah. And that shot though of the goons grabbing the money through his blood and just reaching over his body, incredible. Definitely going to be an interesting power dynamic between Sophia and her goons because they know she's innocent. They probably were outside of the club when Falcone was choking up these women. I'm not saying that that's the reason why they decided to follow her, because clearly money was the big factor. But I also think it put things in perspective for them. Like, listen, we were both fucked over. Let's do this together and take over Gotham. And I think they believe it when she says we're going to be equal partners. I noticed this episode talked a lot about the Mafia Code of Conduct. It highlighted how Sophia and Oz don't follow that, which is going to lead to chaos. While it sounds counterintuitive to hear career criminals talk about conduct, that is the only thing keeping them from not being at war every single day. I think the fact that the older generation of mob bosses are talking to Oz and Sophia like this about their conduct reflects that this new era is going to be worse. My God, it killed me to see them take this little girl to social services. You can't leave her with the woman who just came out of Arkham. Sophia killed the entire family. Definitely think they leave room for her to become the huntress. You probably won't see it, but I think that's pretty cool. Nick is now for the streets, and I was a little disappointed in him. You can definitely now see a total shift in his mannerisms. He is locked in. I was so surprised to see him squabbling with Maroni. Like he said, he has ambition and he sees opportunity with Oz. Oz is now his mentor. He seems to be very invested in helping Oz move up. I thought Sophia was very mature with the way she acted with this man. He was her abuser and he enjoyed having control over her. Now he's ready to shift this power dynamic in the opposite direction. I definitely kissed my teeth when he showed up though. But he has been the only consistent thing in Sophia's life right now. We learned a lot about Maroni's character in this episode, and now I really like him. Man's a feminist, a family man, I think a good employer. At least that's what they insinuated. We hear Penguin's mother earlier mention that the Maronis are not as powerful as the Falcones, and I think a piece of that is the fact that they actually love each other. And so they're not willing to do some of the terrible things to each other that you have to get on top. Oh, also, Maroni's a feminist. I've heard Sophia say over and over again that she wasn't allowed to move up because she was a woman. Maroni had his wife running shit, no questions asked. I was so sad for him when his wife and child were killed because I knew it would affect him. And honestly, that was that shit that Carmine Falcone was talking about. Because if you kidnapped Alberto or Sophia, he would have let them die. Would have been like, why were they on TikTok? I'm sorry, yeah, go. And actually, I think Taj was on TikTok because of the family structure they have, because they're so open and loving. He doesn't feel the danger that's going on. He feels untouchable because his parents love him so much. Oz is a sick man. This is the thing. I thought that we were going to see someone who just wanted to do well in life and get better for himself descend into villainy. But Oz has always been this sick and twisted. We were rooting for him because we saw the way that people were treating him, and the perspective was shifted mostly on him. We see in this episode that this man is not good and has never been good. There's been no sudden shift. It's just who he is. You could see that he's anxious with the excitement to burn this boy and his mother alive. And then later when we see him go off on Eve, he's not even surprised. She knew that that is how he was going to react. Penguin plays the victim until he can't anymore, and then he gets hyper violent. And because we were seeing the way that people were talking to him, we were excusing said violence. Before he shot Alberto, I said out loud, you gotta shoot him, because of the way he was talking to him. But he doesn't think things through, and it puts him in a corner. The first thing Sophia said to this man when they saw the mushrooms were, these things are sensitive. He didn't even want him to touch them because she was like, yo, that will change the ecosystem and probably destroy them all. Didn't even stop to put the cover over them before he rolled out, and then was surprised that they were ruined. Don't tell me, oh, he had to rush. No, he didn't. He killed everyone in that warehouse. He could at least put that cover back on, or I don't know. I know the cops was probably gonna come, but he had the 2 seconds to put that back on. Oz's plans are done so haphazardly that they never follow through completely. Like, even this one in the warehouse, he thought they was gonna let his mans go in the car. Like, I was so confused. My rose-colored glasses for this man are finally off. It's so easy to see why this man is so terrible. All that being said, I still kind of want him to win. His scenes were so exciting, and I was like, I wonder if this would work. Every time I would be like, I don't like this character, I hate him, would put in a scene like the one where he's interacting with his mother, and the sympathy would just flood right back. I found myself excited for the win. I've been running around all episodes, so when he finally found a lair, I was like, let's get it. We about to go up. Actually, there was 2 wins this episode that I equally cheered for. It was definitely Penguin getting the layer and the drugs and being able to get the capital he needs. But then it was also Sophia teaming up with Maroni and just her resurgence of the new family, Gigante. It's such a bold choice to have the Maronis and the Falcone come together because we've never seen it before. But you know what? It felt right. Sophia openly wears her scars out now so everyone can know how the Falcones hurt her specifically. Why wouldn't Maroni trust her? And this episode was phenomenal. Definitely hard to come back from an episode like 4. It was still one of the best things I've seen on TV this entire year. To scale it to the other episodes, I'm gonna go ahead and give it 4.5 out of 5 Frankie Flames.